Hello everyone, I'm Jared, and welcome to Level With Us, the show where we have a cozy video game discussion every week, but this week I am flying solo once again to talk about a game called Neon White, which came out just a few weeks ago on Nintendo Switch and Steam. I played it on Steam, I played it on my Steam Deck, and I'm excited to talk about this game. Now, this is a game by Ben Esposito. He's the one who created Donut County, if you've ever seen that game. It's a very cute, wholesome game, and this is kind of the polar opposite. It's very edgy, and there's guns and screamo music, but more on that later. It's developed by Angel Matrix and published by Annapurna Interactive. So this is a speedrunning game, pure and simple. It's an FPS, so you're running through a level in the first person, you're picking up cards, which are also guns, and you're using them to fly around the geography of the level and defeat all the demons as fast as possible before making it to the goal. So, in a way, it feels like a parkour game, because once you get to the point where you're really familiar with what each card, gun card? Each item you can pick up in these levels is a card, and you can fire it like a gun, so there's like a shotgun and a rifle and a pistol, but you can also discard them alternatively, and that lets you do an ability like flying forward, or doing a double jump, or launching a bomb, or stomping into the ground. And eventually you kind of learn how to balance these two aspects of these card guns. Where you're shooting enemies from far away, but then also using it to rocket through the level and get to the goal as fast as possible. So you kind of have to learn the level over a few tries. And what's really nice is these levels are very short, so they're really meant for speedrunning. You know, I have to admit, I'm not a fan of speedrunning myself. Like, I love watching other people speedrun games. It's amazing seeing people break games open and just fly through them and get to the end super fast, sometimes with inhuman speed. It's crazy. But I don't like trying to do speedruns myself. Whenever I've tried to do them, I realize it just takes the fun out of it for me. You know, I'm treating the game less like a game, and I'm not taking it at my own pace. I'm just turning it into a series of inputs that I have to get perfectly in order to get a good time. And that has its own appeal to it. But normally I don't like speedrunning games rather than just playing them. But the nice thing about this game is that it's meant to be a speedrunning game. And I felt this way about Tori 3D and Tori 2. In those games, you're also supposed to get through the level as fast as possible. And because they're designed around that, the levels are very short. So it makes it really fun and addicting to just replay the same level over and over until you hit a rhythm. And this game's no different. Honestly, I kind of learned something about myself as I played this, and that is, rather than, you know, playing through the levels to progress the story, I ended up just playing the first level a million times until I got an ace rank, and then I moved on to the next level and kept playing it a million times until I got an ace rank. And it was very hard to try and rip myself away from that, because if I got a silver or a bronze, I was like, oh, but I was this close. I was this close. And like I said, it's very addicting. And also a little disheartening when I would get an ace rank, and then that would unlock the global leaderboards, and I'd tab over to look at it, and I'd be in like the 36,000s in terms of ranking for that level. There was one where I got in the top 3,000, and I was pretty proud of that. But it's crazy to see how many people have, you know, gotten such tiny times, and some of these rankings are within, you know, tenths of seconds of each other. So you really have to nail it down in order to make those rankings. So that's kind of an overview of the gameplay of Neon White. Now, aesthetically, this game, it grew on me. It's a little simplistic, so there's a lot of like white architecture. It's very simple, with the only bits of color being the card guns, gun cards that you pick up, as well as the demons that you're supposed to eliminate before you beat the level. And I think I appreciated it more later on as I played, because the way they chose to use color in this game, from a gameplay standpoint, makes a lot of sense. I think if this was any more detailed, it would make the level a lot more unreadable and a lot harder to understand what's going on. And I'm sure, this runs at a sulky 60 FPS, and I'm sure having more simplistic levels kind of helps with that. Load times were pretty short too, which was nice. Now, the story of this game is that you play as Neon White, and you are a sinner that was brought back to heaven to help eliminate demons, along with the other neons, is what they're called. And you all wear these weird demonic kabuki masks, and you hang out in heaven between levels to kind of see what is going on with the believers, is what they're called, and they're all kind of jerks. They all like, oh, I love this ice cream. Too bad you can't have any. And meanwhile, you're, all grumpy and talking to the other neons about how this is not fun, but you're trying to win anyway. It's kind of a contest. And I've heard people criticize the story and dialogue, but honestly, like, apart from a few lewd jokes that don't really jive with me, I thought the story was fine. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of like an anime, like Angel Beats, where, there's some actually really interesting concepts and some interesting stories going on, but you kind of have to swim through some weird slice of life fluff and off-color dialogue to get to the good stuff. And, come to think of it, Angel Beats is also about people who are like in between life and death, who have guns. Huh, interesting. I didn't really think about that until just now. But anyway, I do want to say the voice acting is very fun. Some highlights for me is that you have Stephen Bloom, who is Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop, or Amon from The Legend of Korra. He voices the main character White. He's lovable and edgy, and he's fun. I like him. And then you have Ian Jones-Cordy, who voices Yellow, and I think they cast him perfectly. He's such a bro. He's like, hey man, I heard they're serving pina coladas over here. We should go check it out. Oh bro, I've got you, man. I've got you. He's great. It fits perfectly, like I said. And then you have Sunwon Cho, or ProZD as he's known on YouTube, as Mikey, and he's an angel who hands you your assignments. But angels look different to everyone in the game, so to you they look like little cats. So he's this cat with these big sunglasses and a big cigar, and he's also very fun. I enjoyed the exchanges between him and White the most. I think as long as you don't take it too seriously, the story is not that offensive. In a lot of ways, this game kind of wears its anime inspiration on its sleeve, Like I said, all these characters are wearing these weird masks, and they're sent to heaven to eradicate demons using guns. It's pretty far out there. It kind of reminds me of a Hot Topic, Or maybe a teenager who thinks that they're edgy, but they're not really, It kind of gives me similar vibes to The World Ends With You, almost, which is a game I adore, and I think if I were a teenager, I would also be really into the aesthetic of this game as well. But you know what? Adult Jared likes it too. I recommend this game. I think if you were to look up a trailer or some gameplay for Neon White, and you're watching it and you're like, wow, that looks really fun, then I think it's worth the price tag. I'd recommend checking it out. If it doesn't appeal to you, I don't think it will do much, but for what it is, it's very fun. I really like the core gameplay of trying the same level over and over to try and get a better rank. And I think if you're a speedrunner or if you have interest in speedrunning, this game can really appeal to you as well. Each level is usually less than 30 seconds long, and there's also some boss battles, which I won't spoil, but they are really fun too, and they don't lose the quick pace of the regular levels. So those are my thoughts on Neon White. Thank you so much for listening to our show. Level With Us is on all podcasting platforms as well as YouTube. We try to spotlight a new indie title every week, and sometimes we also play some fun trivia games. So if that appeals to you, be sure to look up our other episodes or consider subscribing. So with that, I'm Jared, and I look forward to leveling with you next time.